7th, I think. Yeah, Thursday the 7th of November. And just gone 11. Just had my breakfast. Half a packet of rich tea. Proper rich tea. We've done 2 drops this morning. We ended up last night at Clackett Lane Services. We spent the night there. And we've been to Heathfield and Canterbury this morning. And now we're heading away towards Southsea for a collection. That's going somewhere. Warminster. Yeah, so not a bad morning. Roads are awful this morning. Loads of water kicking about. Must have absolutely chucked it down through the night. My video from Tuesday is uploading as we speak. You can see my laptop back there. So if you've watched Tuesdays, this is live at the time of this one being uploaded. I think it's on about 54%, so still got a bit to go yet. Hopefully it'll be up tonight. Yesterday, fairly quiet. Had a phone call this morning about the accident on Tuesday, making sure I was okay after the accident. Better late than never. I'd passed all the details on, but the details hadn't gone to where they needed to be, so I just wanted to clarify a few things. So I kind of pointed him in the right direction of who to talk to, who to go and give a clip round the ear roll. Got all the details. I like to be organised. And I thought, you know, straight after it all happened, we'll take pictures, we'll give them the story. Obviously it didn't get through to the right people. Never mind. It has now. So we've got an hour and a half or so to get up towards Southsea. I'm probably going to have a bit of a break shortly. Started at 5 this morning just to get to Heathfield at the right time. Can only deliver there between 6 and 8. Such a tiny little yard. And it's the same yard they use for goods in as what they do for customers coming in and out, and it's a really busy little store. So obviously before the customers are allowed in, they have to get all their deliveries done. There's just stuff everywhere. More than usual. It just makes it tricky when you're going in to try and position yourself. There's actually services coming up in half a mile, so I'll probably pull into that Medway Services. Have myself a break. Can't remember if I've been in here or not. I'm sure I must have been at some point. Yeah, I must have been. I don't need anything, I'll make myself a brew. I've got everything here. I use the facilities. Maybe space, so I'm all good. Hopefully there'll be plenty of room. The lorries are all parked up in the coach bays. Some of you will love that. I don't care. If the lorry park's full and you've got to stop overnight, what are you meant to do? If we can't get in here, then we'll just have to keep going. But I reckon we'll be alright. I reckon we'll get in. Some lorries parked across the back of the parking bays, which doesn't really help. Still asleep. Oh. I think we're just gonna go back out and carry on. There's one or two gaps there, but these lorries just make it so difficult. We'll carry on. We'll stop at the next ones. I don't mind. I've got bags and bags of time. I've only been driving 3/4 of an hour. Just fancied making a brew. I'm not overly fussed, but there's no point in tying yourself up in knots if you don't have to. I don't care what you think. There's just no point in creating work if you don't need to. So we'll stop a little bit further up the road, which is fine. I've got other drinks accessible. Just fancied a brew. And we said at some point we'll have a chat about mental health and how it can affect you as a driver, especially if you suffer a little bit already. Mental health, you know, there's so many different categories and people suffer in different ways. I don't know if that's the right word, suffer. Some people have anxiety, some people have depression. I suppose anxiety covers so many different feelings of unsure, unsettled, nervous, especially when you first pass your test. But I think some of the time it's just about overcoming some of your feelings whilst out on the road, and what you can do to help yourself, and probably how to recognise some of the feelings. You have to remember that, you know, the world is a different place these days. I know you've been looking at me now for nearly 8 minutes, so I'm just going to get past this truck and we'll turn you around so you can have a look at the road, and we'll keep on talking. Turn you around. I've tightened it up a little bit. Must have gone a bit too far. How's that? I reckon that's alright. That's about the same view that I get. Maybe a little bit more to the right. Yeah, anxiety, depression, spending lots of time on the road. Now I've spent most of my working life on the road, so I'm kind of used to what it's like in a cab, both with and without passengers now. I used to be a coach driver. You see, when you have passengers, you have people to talk to. So if you're suffering with a little bit of depression or anxiety or something, you know, you've got 49 people sat behind you, or however many you have on board, and yeah, they keep you going, they get you through the days, and you can be who you want to be. They don't know who you are, but you know, in the evening, once you've said goodnight to everybody, it can be quite lonely. When everybody's gone to bed, you shut that hotel door behind you. And some truckers, I suppose the idea of being in a hotel room every night, eating hotel food every day, having a fry up every morning, it sounds like the lap of luxury. But it isn't really. You kind of get a bit fed up with eating the same stuff all the time. The very rich food and the puddings with all the custard and the cream, and yeah, it's lovely for a few months, but I did it for nearly 20 years. And I used to long for egg and chips, or a cheese sandwich, or cheese on toast. And there was a couple of hotels that I knew the owners, I got to know them over the years. And as soon as I landed, they'd say, "What do you fancy for your tea, Steve?" And nothing would ever be a trouble. And you know, them little acts of kindness, just to make me something simple, actually went a really long way. But being in a truck, you got the cab to yourself. You know, you haven't got anybody else to talk to. And when you pull the curtains around at night, it can be very confined, shall we say. I mean, I'm quite neat and tidy in here, but I like to lay everything out ready for the following morning. And sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you think you've gone to sleep with the place spick and span and, you know, clean and tidy, and you wake up and it's like a bomb was hit. It's like a whirlwind's been through. And even that, some mornings, it can kind of play on your mind a little bit. You're like, oh my god, I'm sure it was tidy and this. And it only ever takes 2 or 3 minutes to tidy up. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is, you know, through the day, if you suffer with a bit of anxiety or depression or stuff like that, you can work yourself up about getting into places, or being able to get onto a bay, you know, or reverse yourself into a farm, or how am I going to strap this down, or, you know, and especially when you first start the job. But I've found the reality of the job is, you know, normally 5 or 10 minutes and you've done it. And quite often the build-up of anxiety before the event has actually happened far outweighs what you've actually been faced with. And if you've looked at my vlogs, especially the earlier ones, when I was saying to you about, you know, look at where you're going, have a look on Google Maps, have a look on Google Earth. If you've not seen my earlier videos, then I recommend you have a look at them, because if you've got half an idea of what you're letting yourself in for, that's half the battle. If you turn up blind to where you're going, well, all kinds of cans of worms can be opened. You know, if you look at a place and realise that you're going to have to reverse it, then, you know, if you're driving a UK truck and your steering wheel's on the right hand side, you really want to be pulling up if you can with the place on your right, so you can reverse into it on your good side. You know, That's probably one of the biggest hints and tips that I can give you. I'm nowhere near the white line, honestly. You know, the other things you can do is have a break before you get to your first drop. If you know it's going to be a bit of a mare, if you've got time to stop, go and use the loo. Make yourself a brew. You know, because if you turn up, if you've had a bit of a journey and you turned up and you're a bit apprehensive about what you're going to be faced with, if you're busting to go to the loo as well, it can make that job 10 times harder, because your concentration won't necessarily be where it should be. So there's a couple of little things that you can do to help yourself. Something else you can do to help yourself is don't panic. You know, if you look at something and you think, I'm really going to struggle getting in there, then pull up if it's safe to do so, and where it's safe to do so. Pull up, stop, handbrake on, get out, have a look. Get a plan in your head of what you're going to do. I can remember one of my first jobs, I had to reverse onto a bay. It was between two other lorries, two other Arctics, and there was a wall directly opposite me. And I think I've told this story in one of my previous videos. And I reversed it absolutely perfectly between these two lorries, up against the wall, and straight back on the bay. First time, couldn't believe it. And I had been absolutely bricking it about that job. And I went in, handed my keys in. 10 minutes later, one of the guys come up to me and says, I need you to have a look at the back of your truck. And I thought, oh my god, what's happened? Has everything fallen over? What have I done? And so I followed him through the warehouse, and he opened the door, and all you could see was the back doors of my lorry. I'd been that nervous and that worried, I'd actually forgotten to open my back doors before I put it on the bay. warning system drives me nuts. Just seen how blue the sky is. No filters there, that's just how it is. Really lovely. This is one of the things about this job. You know, you get to see lots and lots of scenery. Yes, we're Basildon. Yes, there's better scenery available, but being sitting in an office, I think. Get a nice day, sun's out. This time of year you get the autumn colours. Yeah, you get the damp roads, yes, you get the the slippery roads, but you know, if you were sat in an office looking at four walls, people looking over your shoulder all the time, I think I'd rather be here doing this. And the sunrises that we see and the sunsets that we see, absolutely incredible sometimes. I think I said a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, the amount of sunrises and sunsets that I've seen, and more often than not you get both ends of the day. You see both ends of the day. Dark when you get up, dark when you go to bed. But you see the sun come up and you see the sun go down. I think it's lovely sometimes. You won't get that in many other jobs. But we're still about 3/4 of an hour away. South Sea. Enjoy the view. Some music on. Chilled as anything at the minute. Made the most of it. Lunchtime as a trucker, you know, in an office you maybe get 15 minutes, half an hour if you're lucky. In a truck you just munch just munch while you're working, unless of course you're due a break. More often than not my lunch is all over me, my trousers and the floor by the time I get to where I'm going. Always carry a brush, there's another tip. Good old sweep out. And of course I've got the air blower as well. Air duster, whatever you want to call it. Well, mental health is it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and thankfully there's recognition for it now. People are struggling. I know some of you think, you know, you're only going to suffer when you bring something on yourself. It's not always the case. And sometimes you can't grasp just what you can do to help yourself either. Especially if you're just coming into the industry. There's so many little things you can do to make this job so much easier. And I will stop and take a break shortly. Lay by somewhere. I'm an hour miles left, 41 minutes. Must be interesting roads. I call this the magic roundabout because traffic just seems to appear from nowhere all the time. Half expecting Dougal to walk across. Rightio, we'll love you and leave you for a bit longer, and I'll probably get me dropped on. Catch up with you in a bit. I thought I'd just share a little bit of this scenery. Still got the sun out. Had a quick half hour in a lay-by just up the road. We're only about 5 minutes away now. Baltic distribution. I'm hoping anyway. Had a look on Google Maps and it was a bit of a guesstimate. I think I'm right. It's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Never been here before in my life. Certainly been some interesting drivers on here though. This is the official heavy goods route. That's backed up by the signposts. The island. So we've got a car coming round the bend, so I'm just going to wait here. Okay, he's waiting for me. That's how it should be done. Thank you. The majority of everybody else has just ploughed through. Got to be a bit careful of these posts with my mirrors. The mirrors on the Mercs, they're quite big. I don't want to clonk one off. Just take it nice and easy so we don't take out the back end of his van. There we go. You see, I'm looking over the hedges. The cars and the vans there are about the same height as the hedge. But you'd think they could see us from miles away. But of course they don't look far enough forward, do they? So it's like, oh, it's a lorry. Stop him, but don't stop next to a post. You can't expect them to know. That's the thing, you can't expect car drivers to know where's good and where's not good to stop. But not next to a post is a good place to stop. be interesting. All this wood. I'm hoping there's going to be a big fat sign that says Baltic distribution. I reckon it's up there on the left. That's where I reckon it is. I remember seeing the caravan site. There it is, Baltic Wharf. Just up where that lorry's going, if you can see it, up on the left. Where the big grey shed is. I reckon that's where we need to be. No idea what we're collecting. Distribution. Yay. Know if there's a security guard on here or not, or whether we just go in. Right, I better not record in here because I don't know what the score is, so we'll catch you in a bit. Oh, so here we go then, we are back on the M25, we've done our collection. We've come back round up and over the Dartford crossing, and I'm going to head for Clackett Lane. We're on just before 5:30. Should be there in about 10 minutes, so hopefully we'll be able to find somewhere to park, bed down for the night. We've got a load of, oh, they're like fence posts, you know, the round ones with the pointy ends, like they use in fields. I've got 4,400 of them on, evidently. They're going to be getting delivered somewhere near Longleat. There's a woodyard there, so that'll be first thing-ish in the morning. And I don't know after that. Almost at the end of the day. I'm going to, once I've got tea and everything sorted, I'll read through the questions and a couple of the comments, do a few shout outs, and then we'll call it a night from there. I know some of you enjoy looking at these night driving videos. I don't want to tempt fate, but it's not too bad for 5:30. Travelling south on the M25, and then we'll be heading round to the west. And I would imagine we'll probably have about 2.5 hours to do in the morning. 5 o'clock-ish. Try and get there between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. That should put us in good standing for the rest of the day. I don't quite know what is going to happen. I don't know what they'll have in plan. It's probably going to be to the point as usual. But there we go. It's Friday. Got to keep the wheels turning. As long as I get back at a fairly decent time, I'm not really too bothered, to be honest. I know it's nice to have an early finish, but can't always get it. Haven't had one for a while, actually. I'm due a decent finish. Still off to make. So we've got 10 miles left to do, and I think for this bit we'll just do time lapse into the services. I had a little look at the video before that I did Tuesday, and you can't really see anything to do with the accident. And I slowed that time lapse down, which is why it was a bit kind of jumpy and bitty, in the hope that you maybe could have seen something towards the end, but nope. So with a time lapse, it takes a photo every 15 seconds, but then it creates short video clips in between and then ties it all together. That's the first time I've ever slowed one down. I slowed it down to 50%, which normally I speed them up a little bit. In a little bit once we've got parked up. Start off with the latest one, which is Tuesday. If I can find the right app. There it is. Right, so we'll start off with the shout outs. James Williams, cheers Steve for posting another excellent video. I really enjoy your last series of vlogs. So that was the three vlogs I did, I think, when I went round Cornwall and what have you. Thanks for that, Cy Williams. That beard is way too short. This needs sorting immediately. Don't know what I'm going to do, get some hair extensions or something. No idea. Look forward to meeting you this weekend, by the way. Anne Whitehouse, which I know isn't Anne Whitehouse, it's John Whitehouse. First time watching the vlogs. Hope everything works out okay. And just going to push the bell to see more of my videos. Take care and stay safe. Thanks very much, John. Got a few more in there as well. Let's have a look. Mark Fitz, yes, I do remember you. I know you've been doing your your Class 1 test. Good to see that you've passed it, well done. And he's also said thank you for my advice, which has helped him out big time. Brilliant. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And as time goes on, when you're on the job, if you want to pop me a message, feel free. If I can help you, I will do that. Tanya's son Chris, hello. Assad, hi Steve, how are you doing? Been a while since I last messaged. Watching your videos, many thanks for taking the time to prepare and upload your videos. I do enjoy it, and it's nice getting these messages. Kind of gives you a bit of a buzz. It makes you realise that people are actually watching them, which is what it's all about. So don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. The more people that subscribe, the more likely I am to do some more vlogs. And it's nice getting the messages. Mike Logan, what's all this about mental health issues? In my day it was referred to as pressures of the job. Most people were told if you can't stand the pressure, then get out. There's plenty of other people out there looking for work. Very true. And you know, everybody adjusts themselves, aren't they? If one person is absolutely fine, that's great, but at some point I think we all kind of go through the mill a little bit, and some of us have good days, some of us have bad days. We're not all wired up the same. Some people do suffer, and it affects a lot of people, it affects a lot of families, and I have personal experience of it affecting not only myself but also family members, and I think people just need to be a bit more understanding sometimes, be a bit more open-minded towards other people's misfortunes, towards their just their state of mind, you know. Sometimes a little bit of kindness can go such a long way, and just being understanding and sympathetic, a bit of empathy, all that kind of thing. We move on to James Marriott, who commented on one of my videos a couple of weeks ago, given me the all clear for reading out his message. Because there's kids watching, obviously I'm going to edit slightly, but I think you'll get the drift. Hi Steve, I'm not a driver, but I do suffer from mental health issues, breakdowns, depression, suicidal thoughts. My advice is don't be ashamed of admitting that you need help. He's had his health issues since 1994, and he's kept it to himself until it got too much, and one day at work he self-harmed. Well, he went and got help from the doctors in the hospital, and obviously is on the road to recovery. Still has his bad days now and again, but he now knows what to do, and this is how it works. You know, when you reach the point where you go and get help for whatever you're struggling with, if you get the right kind of help, they will teach you how to self-regulate. And I think it's just a constant cycle. It's a bit like a roller coaster ride, but the tools that you come out with help you to keep yourself moving forward, and when you get your bad days, these tools will help you to get to the other end of them bad days. Gary Smith, great blogs. He delivers to farms up and down on the UK on a bulk blower trailer. Lots of very tight lanes. Your job seems reasonably clean. Do you enjoy it? Do you firm pay overnight parking, or are you mainly nighted out in laybys or on site? Bit of everything, Gary. Job clean, not always. The cab just seems to be in a permanent state of mud and stuff from farmyards and building sites. I try and keep on top of it, don't always succeed. Today's quite a bad day actually, but I'll give it a good hoof out tomorrow. Yes, I absolutely love it, really enjoy it. The firm does pay overnight parking. We also get a night out allowance to help with food, and if we stay in services, the firm pay for the secure parking. I do stay in lay-bys, and sometimes I sleep on the farms. Just sleep in the truck. So there we go. I think that's about it, and long enough for today's video. Thanks again for all the comments, thanks again for all the messages, and keep on coming back, keep watching. If you'd like a shout out, let me know and I'll do that for you. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Give us a thumbs up if you want, and we'll keep them coming. Right, I need to go to bed, I'm really tired. So we shall love you and leave you for this week. We'll try and find the button to turn the camera back off again. This camera, seriously. Oh, blimey, there you go, it works. Must be a night thing. Right, good night, catch you all next week.